My name is Shiva Thatipalli. I work for CarMax as an infrastructure architect. Here are some interesting facts about CarMax. We are the #1 largest retailer of used cars in the US. And we are being listed as Fortune 100 best companies to work for in the last 15 years in a row. And I would like to focus on the CarMax work culture, or the work culture that is being focused on the innovation and creative thinking. Even though we are a multi-billion-dollar company, our management focus and gives us that freedom to innovate. This is one of the methods of they are doing it. Moving on, so why did we select FortiGate as our firewalls and to deploy in Azure? 4 years back, we started our journey into Azure. Almost 2 years back, we did the Azure hybrid cloud implementation. We connected our virtual networks into Azure. At the time, the mandate from the security team was to make sure all the traffic that's coming from Azure virtual network, even though if it was a CarMax network, was treated as coming through a DMZ or from an external network. So that was the reason we went with implementing a cloud-based firewalls. And we had a mandate to meet all the security requirements as well as our networking team requirements and cloud operations to be able to automatically deploy. And another thing was we didn't want to deploy it into non-production or a pilot or anything. We wanted to deploy it into production and however we wanted and whenever we wanted. It was more of a production prototype rather than a pilot implementation. And we did not have any colocation facilities, so we did not have anything that I could deploy a firewall or a physical device into. So we selected FortiGate because it's a completely software-based appliance, and it met our deployment strategy of using Azure Resource Management templates. So in this presentation, I would like you to walk through about how we have implemented CarMax, FortiGates at CarMax, and something about hairpinning, user-defined routes, and how we have done connection through Azure Fabric connectors. So this is a typical setup of a express route connected network. On this right-hand side, you have a private network of your company, and on the left-hand side, you have your company itself, or the CarMax network. So the FortiGates sit right in between. Right in here, they sit on the side of the CarMax network between the Microsoft Edge and the private peered network. So they not only protect the perimeter, but they also secure your hybrid cloud setup. So moving on, so why Fortinet? We implemented Fortinet because it has the good pricing model, different application sizes offerings. And so the main thing was automated deployment. From a cloud operations perspective, we wanted to do something that we could deploy through Azure Resource Management templates in production, in QA, with no time. And FortiGate provides all those templates way ahead in the game. So we didn't have to write our own templates. All we had to do was use the same templates and repurpose it for our implementation. So moving on. Oops. So another thing to note about FortiGate is they are in the leader quadrant of Gartner. They are very cloud-focused, not just physical firewall-centric, but they are also cloud-focused. So next thing is the licensing model. So the licensing model, they offer pay-as-you-go licensing as well as the bring your own licensing. Pay-as-you-go is best for a scenario where we have done to start with a prototype in a smaller scale and then bump it up to a larger scale. So we started something with a single device in single region, and then we bumped it into eight FortiGates in a highly availability model. So, but if you are deploying it with in a pay-as-you-go model, it's cheaper if you are only setting it for a certain period of time. But if you go with a persistent or a 24/7, 365-day implementation, like any cloud product, bring your own licensing is cheaper and makes it lot quicker to implement with the pay-as-you-go, though. So there is a break-even point where the pay-as-you-go meets with the bring your own license. Usually it depends on 50%, 60%, or 70%. Work with your account manager at FortiGate, and they will help you with that bring your own license. Moving on, so This is a typical setup of an application or an application network at any company. And we have CarMax on a WAN, which is on the Azure side. And then you have each departments which are paired to the core VNet. So the Fortinet sits between the Microsoft global network and virtual network. So the main thing that to observe is in a physical world scenario, you do not get connections to your end networks unless you have wired it up. But the opposite is true for Microsoft or any cloud provider. Once you connect your virtual network to Azure through Express Route, it's already there. Your network is flowing, your internet service provider is taking care of all the connections. Now, how do you protect it? So the protection, you have to plan for the protection, which is either the IPS, intrusion protection, or intrusion detection services, or your policies after the fact. So it's not like you are setting up the firewall and then connecting the network through it. It's just that you are setting the firewall after the Express Route is set up. So this is a typical implementation of highly available FortiGates. Because we do not have layer 1 and layer 2, OSI layer 1 or layer 2 availability in cloud, we did that. There is a FGSP, or the FortiGate Session Life Protocol, that maintains the sessions between two nodes in a cluster. So we use that to maintain the consistency or the replication of the policies from one node to the another. And the data flows from on-prem through the Express Route circuit and through your Express Route gateway, and your Azure load balancer distributes the load among to both the nodes. And FGSB is the protocol that sits onto both of these firewalls and manages the session replication between the nodes. So we have the same setup in 4 locations, or in your production, non-production, in region 1 and region 2. Usually Azure provides peered regions or failover regions. So region 1 is a failover region to the second region, and we have two firewalls distributed using the Azure load balancer in each of the region. And we have something called a Forti manager, which is used to set up or manage or push the policies from single location to all the 8 FortiGates that we have. So there was a debate, or there was an architecture decision that we had to make. Where do we put the Forti manager? We were planning to put it into one of the regions in non-production or production, but then we realized if it is in a on-prem based implementation, it would make it a lot simpler and make it easier to push the policies from one location to all the 8 FortiGates. Now, this is the typical setup of how the network flows, how that network flows from on-prem to Azure. So one thing that I would like to concentrate is the FortiGate sits here, and the FortiGates that we deployed have 4 ports, but that could, based on your implementation and your licensing model, they could be 2, 8, or depending on the VM size you pick. From port 3 to port, so on port 2 we have the network coming from on-prem, and port 1 we have our Azure regular virtual networks, and port 3 we have more secured networks. So FortiGate sit between any communication that's coming from on-prem to Azure and from Azure to any of the secured virtual networks. So we also use something called hairpinning, which for any traffic that's going from a secure virtual network to another virtual network, the traffic goes from the port 3 and comes back up. So we also used hairpinning for something else. Who in here have requirements for, let's say, moving data from production to non-production, like a QA refresh, or from moving from your QA models for analytics reasons from a non-production to a production? Yeah, a lot of people do that. So what we have is, in the setup that we did, if you have something in a FortiGate, something from a non-production side that needs to go to production or vice versa, the traffic has to flow all the way from the FortiGates to Express Route to come back. Due to this, your internet service provider usually charges you for the network flow, as well as the Express Route charges you for the egress cost. So we had some applications which required data to flow multiple gigabytes of data in a day. So what we had to do was we kind of did the peering of the production and non-production networks, and then break that connection, so that we did the hairpinning from this port 1 to port 1, so that anything that's hitting this port 1 comes back on the same port 1 and then is recognized by this large peered VNet and then comes back and hits the production VNet. By this model, we could save, let's say, at least few $100 a day in egress cost for the networking perspective. And it was not just also cost savings, but it was also much faster because it doesn't have to go out and then come back in. Still being secured by both of the firewalls on the production and non-production side. And then another thing that I was talking about is the automated deployments. FortiGate comes up with a lot of ARM templates or Azure Resource Management templates, which are PowerShell-based, JSON-based, and they provide you all the code with high availability models, public IPs, private IPs, and multiple scenarios. All you have to do is clone that repository from public GitHub and then repurpose it for your implementations. The next thing is scripted firewall changes. I would like to focus is when we did the initial implementation, we did not have Forti Manager where we could deploy all the policies from the one place. So what we had to do was we had to implement the policies in one region, one firewall, and then use the script, export it into a script, and then import it back into the remaining firewalls. So this was a lot easier setup for us instead of setting up the policies into the same multiple times manually. Another thing which we recently started using is the Azure Fabric Connector. So who here in Azure, if you are in Azure using any what do you call VM scale sets or auto scaling or anything that builds this VMs based on the load? Yeah, so in the scenarios like that, let's say we had an application to start with 2 nodes to 20 nodes. We don't have to open the firewalls for the 18 or the 20 nodes right in the beginning. You could start with saying, based on a tagging, Azure tagging, and FortiGate reads those tags, and you don't have to open up those ports and firewalls ahead on those IPs. You could use the Azure FortiGate Fabric Connector and say if the VM that is deployed at a later date has this particular tag, would have this particular port opened, or whatever the policies that needs to be opened is already open. So that's the advantage of FortiGate's reading the Azure Fabric Connector. So moving on, segregation of duties. This was a big requirement for us. We had a cloud operations team, the networking team, and the security team, all the 3 teams co-working in this platform, FortiGate. So we wanted something where all the 3 teams could access it at different levels and integrate with the LDAP or Active Directory so that we could divide the partitions, we could divide the access based on the Active Directory groups. And this was a best of all the 3 worlds. It was a win-win-win situation for cloud team as well as the networking team, where they could go and set up the policies. Cloud team could deploy based on the Azure Resource Management templates, and also the security team could go in and set up the IPS and IDS, the intrusion detection and intrusion protection services. So what were the challenges that we faced while deploying the FortiGates? One of the thing was the networking. We had to use Network Watcher or Azure-based network hop monitoring. We were new to Azure. We did not know how the network flew. It was a challenge, and it was a lot of work that required to set up policies so that everything flows through these FortiGates. And another thing was, from a high availability perspective, only Azure standard load balancer supported the distribution of load in all the protocols. So we had to use Azure load balancer standard, and it was not released when we did this. So we had to wait for additional 6 months to implement it in the high availability. Another thing is FGSP. FortiGate accounting team and the solutions architecture team really helped us in understanding the FGSP and how do we use that to deploy this into a highly available model. Last but not the least one was getting the senior management and stakeholders approval for the pay-as-you-go model. Usually from a application perspective or from a invoicing perspective, bring your own license is the common model. Pay-as-you-go was very unknown to this networking area. So it took some time to get that pay-as-you-go model for approval from the senior management. And some of the takeaways, or some of this, the summary of the presentation is, FortiGates are really Azure friendly. They do support pay-as-you-go model. They do support Azure resource management templates for the deployments or the automated deployments. Work with load balancers and user-defined routes was a time-consuming thing. And hairpinning is something which we really like because it helps us route the traffic through the same ports on the FortiGates. And also high availability. And the real thing that our management likes is the segregation of duties in the same device. In the past, when we tried with other vendors, we had to buy two different devices, one for security and the second one for networking pieces. So to route the traffic through both devices was very painful and very time consuming, but FortiGate solved that problem for us. Any questions? Thank you. Thanks for attending.